very highly nutritious products, and the honey contains the minerals, vitamins, which are required in trace quantities by the human body. The consumption of honey will be helpful in solving the problem of malnutrition. And the beekeeping activity, it gives new impetus to all the economic activities. Once in any of the area beekeepers are there, it will be the wood industries, the manufacturing of beehive boxes, honey processing, and all other related activities will be there. So like this, it gives an impetus to the economic activity. And also it improves the biodiversity. How it improves the biodiversity? The previous presenter has already explained about this. What is the role of these in improving the pollination? Okay. Okay. Which are the species of bees which are being cultivated, or the domesticated species in India? This one is the Apis cerana species, Indian bee, Apis cerana, which is normally seen in the hollow of tree trunks, or the termite mounds, galleries of termite mounds, or any enclosed cavities. This is the one, Apis cerana. And another one is the introduced species, Apis mellifera, the introduced species, which is not native to India, but this is also now has become a part and parcel of Indian beekeeping, Apis mellifera species. And another one, the stingless bee, which is earlier, which was considered as a non-domesticated, but now it is included under the list of domesticated species. It is stingless bee. Even though the honey yield by this species is very less, the honey is highly valued. It is having more of medicinal property. And one colony may yield about 200 to 250 gram per annum. Even then, the honey, as the honey is sold at higher price, it is also now, it has become a remunerative business of maintaining this kind of stingless bees also. So totally, as of now, 3 species of bees are being maintained. One is Apis cerana, and then Apis mellifera, and this stingless bee species. Okay, then what are the problems or challenges in maintaining the bee colonies, or even the problems faced by many beekeepers? They are here. I have listed the different things, different challenges, and this is based on some surveys. I conducted these surveys and interacted with the beekeepers, and they have listed these as the major problems in maintaining the colonies. Okay, that one is the absconding of colonies. The absconding is the one of the major problems, and the reduction in bee forage resources. The bees are not getting the good bee forage, good amount of nectar and pollen for maintenance. That is another problem. And then occurrence or incidence of natural enemies, the wax moth, wasps, ants, and other natural enemies. And especially in case of the Indian bees, Apis cerana, the Tay-Sachs brood virus disease. In the 90s, it was more prevalent, but now here and there it is there. Endemically, it is seen, this Tay-Sachs brood virus disease, and this is also listed as one of the problems faced by the beekeepers. And then the climate change effects on bee colonies. So to give an example, in the honeybee colonies, the swarming tendency was observed only just before the honey flow period. Earlier, we used to tell the beekeepers that the swarming tendency will be there until the actual honey flow period starts. But nowadays, maybe because of this increase in the temperature and all, this swarming tendency is continuing even during the honey flow period also. Okay, that is also another problem. And then this pesticidal poisoning of bee colonies. The pesticide, insecticides, pesticides, the fungicides and weedicides are being used to control the pests in agriculture crops or horticulture crops. So the pesticides applied there, they are also causing major damage to the bee colonies. And another problem, it is not in severe condition, but here and there the reports are coming in. It is with respect to the incidence of small hive beetle. And the other problems are the non-availability of bee colony and equipments at all the places. In some of the areas, the people may be very much interested to take up beekeeping. There will not be any availability of the colonies and other equipments. And lack of expert personnel in all the areas. That is another thing. And there is no organized market facility for the honey and other beehive products. Yeah, the in the okay, I'll come to that later. And there is no preference or on quality honey production, and there are no facilities to test the honey locally. To get any samples tested, they have to go to the state capitals or district headquarters, and all the district headquarters are also not having honey testing facilities. And another issue is here is there is no much work on stock improvement, of these bees, and there is no insurance facility for bee colonies as it is there in other countries. Okay, these are the problems. And these problems, we may put them into three categories. One is the problems which can be solved by the governments. At government level, the problems have to be solved. And some of them are at beekeepers level. So they are mainly the management related aspects. And also certain problems are to be addressed by the university or research institutions or the research stations. Okay, it may be, for example, stock improvement or creation of awareness about bees and their conservation and all. All these are the work they may be taken up by the universities and research units. Okay, let us discuss more about the problems that are to be addressed or they are to be solved at the beekeepers level. Okay, I have listed some of the problems faced by the beekeepers. The first one was colony absconding of the colonies. Okay, the major reasons for this colony absconding are the shortage of food and reduction in bee population. Once there is reduction in the population of the bee colony, many problems will be there. The colony becomes more vulnerable to the attack of natural enemies, and even some diseases may be there. So like that, reduction in bee population is another problem. And increased temperature, and incidence of pest and diseases. And in some of the places, the colonies have absconded because of the presence of older combs. While maintaining, if the old combs are not removed by the beekeepers, and all the combs become old, even in such situation also the colonies are likely to abscond. And another reason for colony absconding is frequent disturbance of any kind. Even for our curiosity, if we open the colonies very frequently, even then also it causes some disturbance to the colony, and this also leads to the absconding. Okay, to overcome these things, the food shortage and other things. For that, we have to go for artificial feeding. That mainly during off seasons, the rainy seasons, the colonies are to be fed artificially. The For feeding the colonies, we may go for the sugar syrup 1:1 ratio, and some beekeepers they put the uh, uh, multivitamin tablets into the sugar syrup to increase the acceptance by the bees, and also it gives some required nutrients, and the colony development will be very good. And another thing is we have to maintain the queen. The young and prolific queen has to be maintained in the colonies. So if young and prolific queen is there in the colony, the brood rearing, the egg laying will continue even during the off season also. And when the brood rearing is there, such colonies will not be absconding until the brood rearing. As long as the brood rearing is continued, the colony will not be absconding. And during the off season, another measure to prevent absconding is the feeding is one thing, and apart from that, we have to keep the queen gate in position so that the queen will not be escaping from the colony, and the colony will remain there only. And during off seasons, the colonies are to be kept in safer places. If it is exposed to hot sun, some shade has to be provided, or the colonies are to be moved to a shaded places. If it is a rainy season, the colonies are to be protected from the rains. And again, the another one is the colonies are to be protected from the pest and diseases. And if required, and if it is possible, it is better to migrate the colonies if the climatic conditions are not good here in that season. The colonies may be migrated to some other place to overcome this dearth period or aberrant weather conditions. Okay, here in this picture, we can see how the colonies are to be fed with sugar syrup, and the colonies are to be protected mainly during rainy season. The queen gate has to be placed in position, and these are the natural enemies which are creating problems to the bee colonies: wax moth, the wasps, predatory wasps, ants, and small hive beetles. Okay, this is about the wax moth. Here in this picture, you can see the larvae of wax moth, pupa, and the adult wax moth. Okay. These are the combs infested by the wax moth. The wax moth damaged combs. Okay, which are the management practices to overcome this wax moth infestation? The first thing is the colony has to be maintained strong. If the population is very good, that such colony will not be more vulnerable to the infestation by the wax moth. And another one is periodically you have to clean the bottom board. That is another thing, because these wax moths, they lay their eggs on the debris deposited at the bottom board, and also on the cracks and crevices of the beehive box. So all these the debris deposited on the bottom board has to be cleaned periodically, and whatever cracks and crevices are there, they are to be plugged. So it minimizes the wax moth infestation. And another thing we have to do for management of this wax moth is remove the uncovered combs. So the bee box, it may be having 10 frames or 8 frames. Whenever there is off season, there will be reduced egg laying by the queen. So it leads to decline in the population. And when the population is declined, there may be some of the combs not covered by the bees. They are called as exposed combs. And when exposed combs are there, the wax moth will straight away lay the eggs on the exposed combs. And the wax moth develop in the exposed combs, and after some time they may move into the combs in which bees are there. Finally, it may lead to absconding of colonies. So we have to remove the uncovered combs from the colonies. And another one is we may use the uncovered comb. It has also become black in color. Once the comb becomes black in color, the queen will not be laying the eggs in such combs. So when eggs are not laid in such combs, that will remain as uncovered comb. So such combs are to be removed from the colony. And then the sticky traps may be used to control the wax moth. So it is not by any one of the methods. We have to go for all these methods with an integrated approach. Here in the picture you can see it is a sticky trap. Usually it is used in agriculture crops to control some of the smaller sized flying insects. Here we may use a piece of honeybee comb as an attractant. It has to be placed inside this sticky trap, and we have to put it in the apiary. The mated female moths, they will be attracted towards this comb, and if they are captured in this sticky traps, even if one wax moth is captured, the number of larvae, about 600 to 900 larvae of the wax moth will be less in the apiary. So we may use this sticky trap also for wax moth management. And then another major problem is with the yellow banded wasp, Vespa tropica or Vespa cincta. This is a predatory insect. It predates on not only on the Apis cerana species, even on mellifera species also. Even Apis mellifera is more vulnerable to the predation by wasp. And for this wasp management, in the vicinity of the apiary, whatever the wasp nests are there, we have to locate, and they are to be destroyed. For that, we may apply some insecticides, or even those wasp nests may be burned. And killing of wasps at the beginning of the rainy season. The problem of this wax moth will be from the rainy season to winter months. Until winter, the problem will be there. In the beginning, whatever wasps are coming over there to the apiary or to the hive entrance, they are all mated females. Each one will be capable of establishing one nest. So if at the beginning of the rainy season, if we capture and kill those wasps, if we are killing one wasp, we are going to prevent the establishment of one colony. So killing by using fly flappers has to be followed at the beginning of the rainy season. And even there are wasp traps. The traps can be used. And then even wasp traps are available in the market, or even you may prepare a wasp trap on your own by using a water bottle of 2 liters capacity to cut the neck of the bottle, and again as a funnel it has to be inserted back into the bottle, and inside we have to put some attractant, maybe some sweet substances or some fish meal like thing has to be put inside, and we have to hang it there in the apiary. And don't forget to make some small holes in the bottle. Yeah, when we put some sweet substance, even bees are also attracted to that. The trapped bees will be escaping through these small holes, but not the wasp. So like this, even traps can be used to control the wasps. And even the another technique to prevent the uh, predation by wasp is we have to put a mesh in front of the beehive box. The mesh should be in you should have the pores in such a way that the bees have to pass through that perforations and not the wasp. So it also gives about 70% control of the wasp predation. And the ants or the other ants are also considered as the natural enemies, major natural enemies of honeybees. For that also, the colonies are maintained strong. If the colony is strong, it will be able to withstand the attack by the ants. It will resist the attack by the ants. And the colonies are to be always placed on the stands, and the ant wells should be maintained properly. We may put some water or even waste oil in that ant well so that the ants will not be able to enter into the beehive box. And the surrounding area of the beehive box has to be kept clean, mainly during rainy seasons and the off seasons, whenever the colony is weak and whenever we are providing food to the colonies, the sugar syrup to the colonies, it also attracts the ants. In such period, seasons, we have to take extra care about the ants, the invading ants to the colonies. And then about the Tay-Sachs virus disease, here in the picture you can see the symptoms of this disease. Here, the infected larva will becomes the dead larva will be lying at the bottom of the cell with its head turned upwards, and the scattered brood is seen here and there, and uneven cell capping is also observed whenever this Tay-Sachs virus disease is there. And when you take out this dead larva from the cell with the help of forceps, it gives the appearance of a bag filled with water. It is a peculiar symptom, and that is why it is called as a sac brood disease, Tay-Sachs virus disease. And for the management of Tay-Sachs virus disease, again, one thing is we have to maintain the colony strong. And if we are able to identify the disease at the beginning, we may provide the colonies, we feed the colonies with some antiviral compounds, antiviral drugs, the aciclovir or Jovirax tablets at a rate of 50 mg in 100 ml of sugar syrup for about 4 to 5 weeks. It has given good control if the disease is noticed in the early stage. Another one is by caging the queen for some time. This also gives very good control of the Tay-Sachs virus disease. And next problem is the pesticidal poisoning of the bees. So for the preventive measures for pesticidal controller, as far as possible, we have to go for the botanicals or biocontrol agents or plant-based insecticides, which are highly specific to the pests. That is one. And whenever we have to take up the spray, if possible, the colonies are to be moved to some other place, and then that spray has to be taken up. And if it is not possible to move the colonies, we may confine the bees for about 2 to 3 days until the toxicity level in the treated crop is reduced. It is also possible such kind of thing can be followed to prevent the pesticidal poisoning of bees. And then for it is based on the practice of beekeepers. Some of the measures that are to be, some of the practices that are to be taken up by beekeepers are they have to use the comb foundation seeds. Many of the beekeepers, they are using the older combs in the super chamber instead of providing new foundation seeds. They use the old combs, old black colored combs. It gives that will not be helpful in maintaining the quality of the honey, and harvesting the honey at the right stage when the honey is matured. Only at that stage the honey has to be harvested. If all the when all the cells are sealed, that is right, or otherwise at least 80 to 90% of the cells are sealed, that is right stage to harvest the honey. And all hygienic practices are to be maintained in the apiary, and honey has to be harvested always by using the honey extractor. And for storage, the for storage, airtight containers are to be used, and good quality containers are to be used for storage of honey. Okay, here in the picture you can see the completely sealed honey. This is when all the super frames or super combs are built like this. This is the right stage to harvest the honey. And the extractor has to be used. And the recent, as I mentioned, the another recent problem is about the small hive beetle. It was there in the Apis mellifera species of bees, but very recently in some of the areas it was observed in more number of colonies, and it completely destroyed the colonies. Here you can see the infested colonies. Okay, these are some of the common problems and the measures to overcome while maintaining the bee colonies. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, session is open for everyone. You can ask now if you have any query.